Hi, I'm Denny Costello from Naples, Florida. I play at Treviso Bay. Welcome to Golf Smarter.
Hi, I'm Jeff Smith from Paducah, Kentucky. I play at Rolling Hills Golf Course. This is Golf Smarter number 1011.
I meet a lot of golfers that are really fit, but they're not golf fit. They're strong. They can lift a lot of weight. They can run really far, but when you actually ask them to do a shoulder turn, they're highly restricted. To experience what real golf fitness can do to how you feel when you get to a golf course is really what will keep you doing this program for as long as you choose to. And so I would say just try a 5-minute mobility workout. Try something that feels very doable. Don't overexert yourself. You don't have to. If you do a 5-minute workout for 2 weeks, you will feel completely different if you're coming at it from not having worked out at all. The bar is set so much lower for success than people are accustomed to believe it is. We have these Instagram programs like 60 days, you're gonna look like this, and that's just setting people up for failure. That's not the way a professional athlete would approach their fitness. If they were injured and they were coming back, they're not starting to kill themselves. They're starting to get themselves to move up incrementally through the process of getting fit by the start of the season or by the time that they're ready to get started. We have this phrase where we want people to adapt an athlete's mindset in their fitness. Athletes train smart. They just don't train hard. And we think we have a smart system.
Better fitness means better golf for your game. With the Golf Fit app creator, Richard Burrow.
This is Golf Smarter, sharing stories, tips, and insights from great golf minds to help you lower your score and raise your golf IQ. Here's your host, Fred Green.
Welcome to the Golf Smarter podcast, Richard.
Hello, Fred.
Great to talk to you and great to meet you. This is going to be fun. We had a short chat before we started recording. Nothing that anybody's going to miss, but it's really great to hear about your story. And we come from similar geographic areas at the very least, and we both have the entrepreneurial spirit, which I'm really excited to talk to you about. And I've spent a lot of time on Golf Smarter advocating fitness, mobility, flexibility, and that your body is really the most important tool in your bag. And you've created something that can help all of us. Tell us about Golf Fit.
I appreciate that. And I couldn't agree more. Your body's the most valuable and sometimes underutilized piece of equipment you have. And I agree with you. I don't think I've met many golfers or any golfers that I can think of who wouldn't benefit from a focused golf fitness plan. So Golf Fit was born from just a myriad of different influences, a long-term relationship with golf, with fitness, a frustration over why personal training was so expensive and sort of out of reach, a desire to democratize this knowledge that existed that was currently like you could find a very expensive, coach or trainer or so forth. But the idea was always that what can we do to bring this knowledge, this base, and it went a lot further after we started, but to all golfers everywhere, since everybody could benefit from it. I sustained a pretty bad wrist injury about 3 years ago. I began to go to different facilities that were, intended to help me, get better. And whenever I would get better for a little while from laying off, I'd go back out to the golf course and I would re-injure it. And it just became this cycle. And of course, you start thinking about surgery. You start thinking about all these not very attractive alternatives. And one day I was looking at some video of my swing and I noticed that, boy, my wrist was early extending and I had to keep doing that because I had really developed a lack of hip mobility that was drastically impeding my ability to move through my from my right side to my left side. And that was kind of a moment where I thought to myself, that might be the answer to my wrist injury. And as it turns out, it was. As I began to develop my hip mobility, I was able to clear my hips out of the way, and therefore my hands could stay in front. And that was really a moment for me. Golf It was really, it came in I was in a garage. I was going through this identity crisis about having built one business and wanting to know what I wanted to do with the rest of my career. I had what my wife refers to as a Peloton moment, where I come up with a great idea that seldom, if ever, goes anyplace. But I was on the bike and I thought, come on, Richard, think about this. What do you want to do? And I said, oh, I want to do something with golf, and I wanted to do something with fitness. And I put those two words together, Golf Fit. And that was really the beginning of this entire venture. And I had a
Wow.
pretty clear idea of what I wanted to do. I wanted to create this amazing golf fitness content, unlike what's currently available, which is a lot of workouts that here's a list of 10 exercises to do, right? Or here's do these X reps in this. I wanted to create really high quality, highly produced quality workouts, similar to like a Peloton or an Apple, but specifically for golfers.
Mhm.
So we went into that business of creating this content, and we went through several shoots. We made a bunch of mistakes. We finally developed what we think are 80 of the best full length workouts that golfers could select from, and so we published those. But then I realized we needed to go deeper, because finding a big catalog of workouts is not necessarily that helpful to people. What they really need to know is, what specifically should I do for my game? So then we began on the personalization trajectory of, how can we interact with a golfer the way that somebody would interact with a personal trainer? What are you feeling like this week? What issues are you dealing with? How's your motivation, and things of that nature? And so now that we're able to gather that information, we're now able to produce a personalized workout for golfers each week, so that it's based on your schedule, your golf history, your fitness history, your relationship with fitness. And that's sort of what I thought it was gonna get, the most traction. And then I discovered something that was even more interesting to me than all of that. And that is, why is there an industry that accepts a 70% failure rate, i.e. the fitness industry? What is this failure rate all about? Why are so many people starting with the intention of getting in better shape and then stopping, even though they know how important it is that they do it? So what that's taken me down is this path of just remarkable exploration into behavioral science. And I'm now working with one of the top fitness behavioral scientists, a woman by the name of Michelle Seeger. She wrote a great book called No Sweat. And what she's done is she's spent her life understanding why some people succeed and others don't when they embark on a fitness program. And what we've been able to do now is start to build that in to the golf fit ethos. Like, we are all about trying to understand how to keep people from falling off, because it's unnecessary. You don't need to. It has a lot to do with changing people's belief systems around fitness. They're incorrect. They've been built by people that are in the business of getting you to sign up on January 1 and hopefully not come to the gym ever again. Like, that's the model. And to me, it's not a model that I would ever believe in. I want our subscribers doing the workouts. I want to keep them doing the workouts, and that's the business. So, so we've kind of taken this trajectory of first it was content, now it's personalization, and really the underlying is, how do we get people to keep exercising and continue to exercise for their lifetime? And golf, getting better at golf, as you know, as an avid golfer, is probably the most motivating thing we can do. But there needs to be more.
It's a
There
life
needs to
goal.
Yeah. I mean, it will make you better at golf. There is absolutely no doubt. All the studies show that fitness will make you better at golf. Just look at Rory McIlroy to know what supreme fitness looks like on the 73rd hole, when you've just walked Augusta for 4 days, 5 days, and you can still execute at the level that he is. That is the epitome of golf fitness. And so that's the story of Golf Fit, and that's what we've been pursuing for the last period of time to get us to where we are now.
And where were you before? I'm curious because it seems like this is your Peloton moment. This is your idea that came
Yeah,
later in life, so you had to
it had been
be
brewing
doing
for
other
years.
things.
Yeah, it had been
Yeah.
brewing for years. This idea of what could be done around fitness, but I started a flooring company in California a number of years ago, and have had a fair amount of success in it, and learned that was kind of my like entrepreneurial teeth cutting, where I learned that there were ways to be successful and there were ways to not be successful, and I
I'm
figured out
sorry,
a
but
way
what do
to
you
be
mean by a
successful.
flooring company? Is this
So my
retail or is
company,
this
no, my company
contractor?
is the largest supplier of flooring to people that own apartments.
Oh,
And I've
wow.
worked with all of the major property management companies throughout California. We've built that into a fairly sizable organization with over 150 installers that work for us on a daily basis.
Wow.
We do that. And I love it. It's been a tremendous experience to grow a business from the ground up, and to deal with, running to the mailbox to see if we got checks in to cover payroll, and learning all of the things that you got to learn. I mean, one of the things I realized is that I think a lot of people, when they're going into a business, don't accept the reality that there's no way that they're going to know everything. They think they can know everything, but part of growing a business or building a business is really learning how not to do it along the way.
Absolutely.
And the quicker people are to react to that and to implement the changes that will prevent that from happening again, in my mind, that just increases the likelihood of success. And frankly, when I stepped into this business, I didn't know production design. Production. I didn't know digital marketing. I didn't know a lot of the things about this. And people would, often say, what's driving you? And honestly, the drive here is because I see the fundamental um, uh, existential crisis that this country's facing with obesity and people not committing to working out and not staying working out. And I ask myself why, and I feel it's unnecessary. I feel like people can develop a mindset that keeps them engaged, and they'll live healthier lives. They'll play better golf. They'll have more experiences with grandchildren, and they'll achieve more in their D1 career. They'll achieve more in whatever they do. They'll, to me, fitness is one of those keys to living a healthy and successful life. So if we can do it by golf, then that to me is the perfect way to do it. My love for golf is as deep as anybody's that there is, and so that kind of was the trajectory of bringing me to be in this business now.
How's your game?
My game has never been better. I can honestly tell you that because of the fitness that I've been doing over the last couple of years. I have a really dear friend of mine, a guy that I jokingly say I started Golf Fit for, because I watched him kind of age, and to me, he's aging out of the game prematurely. He's not out of the game, but he's not as limber, he's not as flexible, he's not, and so forth. And so he and I were playing on Saturday, and I hit a particularly good shot at it was number 6 at Riviera, and the pin was back left, and so you kind of had to get it up there, and I hit it off the back hill, and it kind of rolled back off the hill and landed like 3 feet away. And he looks at me, he goes, "I don't understand something. Everybody else that I know is getting worse as they get older. You're getting better." And I was
Wow.
like, I don't know how to say this any more clearly, Jeff. It's just the fitness. It's being able to move my body in ways that I haven't been able to before, and to have the strength, the rotational power, the mobility, the core, those things are all allowing me to practice more. That's a big piece of it, right? Like if you don't feel well, you can't practice. If you can't practice, it's really hard to be good at this game, right? So I'm able to hit, balls, pretty decently on the range for a period of time. I feel strong on the back nine as I do on the front nine because my endurance is there. I have opened up my hips like we talked about, and by opening up my hips, I'm getting more club head speed, so I'm hitting the ball further than I've ever hit it. So my game is pretty good.
That's awesome. Come
I'm
on,
happy with it, but
what's your index these days?
it's somewhere around like 3.2 or something.
Wow. At
Yeah.
Riviera.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
So,
You're playing a lot. Well, isn't that interesting how, people like they want more distance, obviously. They want more distance. They want more accuracy, blah, 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 blah. But they're not doing anything with their body to make it work out. And really, if you want more distance, it's not going to be a ball. It's not going to be a club. Sure, that could work, on a couple of yards here and there. But until your body is in supreme golf shape, none of those things are going to work. I think it's sometimes we're being sold a bill of goods as far as what we're listening on to advertising from the major manufacturers who don't care about you that much. They care about their bottom line as they should, but they're telling us things that aren't necessarily going to help as much as they claim. I hate to say
honestly,
that. I'm losing friends rapidly by doing
I can imagine.
that.
So we'll tread lightly around this subject. But for a long time, I used to say, like, I've never seen a golfer get better from new equipment. I've just never seen it happen. Like a new putter in the bag, a new driver in the bag, because it's still the same person on the other end swinging the club. I have definitely seen people get better as they've improved their fitness, as they've improved their ability to move, and to as they build strength, as they are able to generate more speed. I walk up and down a driving range these days, and I don't really look at the swing. I look at the body of the person swinging the club, and I think to
Of course you
myself,
do.
"Oh my gosh, if you could just do this." And here's the interesting thing that I've discovered, and we talked about this a little bit. It's really about adjusting people's expectations from what they want fitness to be versus what it really is. And if you think about it as why so many people quit, it's because they go in with this unrealistic expectation, this horrible phrase, no pain, no gain, and they come crashing down and they stop. It's like they're set up for failure. And what I would say to people, a lot of people who are just starting out in any kind of fitness program, give me 30 days of 5 minutes of mobility, and that's it. Just do that. And if you can't do all 30 days, do 15 of them. But understand that that is success. That is you meeting yourself where you are. Our program is designed to meet you where you are and to build from there. And if you keep those two lines, reality and expectations, closer in line, you are building the trajectory for long-term success. It's when they become very divergent that I see people are quitting, they're getting frustrated. So everything we're doing about Golf Fit is designed to bring people into a connection with, hey, this is what success looks like. It means if I do it 3 days a week, but let's say, for example, we give you a personalized workout, and on Wednesday, you've got to do a 40-minute rotational power because you're a level 3 stud, and that's what we gave you. But let's say that day you had something come up with your kids, you got a terrible night's sleep, your boss, yelled at you about something that wasn't your fault. And we know, the science tells us that your energy is going to be completely different than what it might feel like on a day when those things didn't happen. So what we're trying to get people to understand is it's not a failure that you don't do that 40-minute workout. It's a success if you take a 5-minute walk, right? If you just keep moving your body. It's really all about movement, right? We're all in this race to, stave off atrophy, and in the end it wins. But for as long as we can, we want our bodies to be moving as much as possible. So what I love about what we're doing and what some of the people that are helping us do is we're really understanding how do we help people to succeed in their fitness goals. And by doing that, we can build a way in which people feel supported, where right now they don't. And so we're building community. We're building a way for people to feel like they're involved. And, we talked at some point about how golf is this amazing community-based event, which we see fewer and fewer of in our lives, where people get together. They're part of a team. They're part of a club. We talked about Eric Lang and Random Golf Club, which is not a club. It's just a bunch of people who have a shared interest over a particular topic. That in my mind is just one of the beauties of golf, is that you can pull that many people over a very positive activity, right? It's go outside, it's be in nature, it's play, it's laugh, it's compete, it's all these things that in life are just good things to have in your life.
This conversation, looking at you, talking to you, my sense is you don't use golf carts when you're playing golf. You're a walking golfer.
There's nothing I feel better about than carrying my own bag at 63 for 18 holes. That
wow,
to
you
me
carry
is
your bag too. Yeah, see, my back wouldn't allow that for 18 holes.
Yeah,
Northern California, we have a lot of up and down, right? And just my back would not allow that.
Rip's one of the
but
great
I love walking.
It's one of the great walking courses. And I'll admit there are times where somebody carries it for me. I'm not going to lie, but I love to walk the course.
Yeah, I love walking golf because, like when I'm in a golf cart, it feels like I hit the ball, I go to the ball. I hit the ball, I go to the ball. And I can't remember anything about the golf course.
Yeah.
Unless I've taken a couple of pictures. It's like, I kind of remember. But I played with a guy recently. He says, I remember every single golf shot I've ever taken. And and he looks at me and goes, and I remember every shot you took in this round. I'm like, I don't? How do you do that? And we kind of...
I can't do that.
No, but I kind of figured out if you've played a course a number of times, then it's easier to remember your golf shots. But if you're playing a course for the first time, it's like, no idea. Okay, can you remember your golf shots on every round?
One of the things I love to do is remember the one from yesterday, and I'll go through it in my mind. Oftentimes, like if
is that
I'm
your
just about to go to sleep.
Yeah,
it kind of is. Yeah,
it's like you count your shots,
right? And I'm like, what did I do? What was my tendency? What do I need to work on? That sort of thing. Mm-hmm. I'm not overly statistical about looking at my golf game. I'm not. I am excited though, because over the next several months, we've got conversations with people that the wearables company, Garmin, and some of the other companies to see if we can start extracting data from people's wearables to even more better refine their programming for them. We're also building the same type of thing for video. If we can see somebody swing on video, we could analyze it and provide workouts based on that as well. But I think walking a golf course is a great pleasure.
Yeah. Let's talk about more about your app. It's an app, right? GolfFit is an app.
GolfFit is a we call it a
platform,
fitness sit-num platform that you can do either directly on your browser or through the app. Both have the same functionality. Okay.
And let's break down some of the programs that you offer. Is it are the workouts like a series, an ongoing series of programs that you can follow from day to day to day, or is it you like find one that you like and just do it every day? How
Yeah.
does it work from the consumer standpoint as far as our daily workouts, if we can
Yeah. So
get there?
when you go to the website, you're going to be asked to, if you want to get your first week's workout, and you'll go and you'll answer several questions for us, and those questions will allow us to generate a personalized workout for you. So Fred, you want to work on a slice that you have, or you want to gain more distance, you do your workout. We've sort of judged that you're somewhere around a level 2 out of 1, 2, and 3. So here's a total of 5 workouts, 3 that we suggest you do for sure, and then 2 that we're going to call optional. So if you want to add them in, or you want to substitute them because you're not feeling up to doing the levels that we gave you, then you do that. So as you're doing those, we're going to be sort of monitoring behind the scenes in terms of how well you're doing, if you're getting through them all the way, and all in attempt to gather data so that when we send you an email at the end of the week saying, we want to check in and see how you did. We noticed that there were some workouts that you seemed to really like, others that you didn't like so much. Give us some feedback on those. We'll refine it, and then we'll send you your new workouts for the following week. And so that will just be a perpetual process in which you will continue to get, workouts that are really geared to what you want to accomplish in your golf game. Everybody's got a different body. Everybody's got different goals. Everybody's got a different swing. So there shouldn't be no such thing as like a generic golf workout. It's what I should be doing, what you should be doing, what my 27-year-old son, who happens to also be a co-founder of Golf Fit, is doing, are two different, are all different. So where we think Golf Fit is really unique is that we have now been able to harness the ability to make each workout feel as though it is a personalized trainer that is looking at you, your swing, your body, getting feedback from you, and giving you the workout that will be most beneficial.
That's awesome. I've for years I've been doing programs on trying to do a daily basis of 15, 20 minutes each morning at the very least. And then now that I've had physical therapy going for the last year and a half, I add that before I start my program on my app. And the various apps, even if they have the name golf or golfers in it, I found that what ends up happening is they just become this basic low-level yoga program. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Is this what I've been trying to get to from the start? And I have to say that in just the few weeks that I've tried Golf Fit, it's like, oh, they really are talking to golfers. They really are addressing things that I've been struggling with and haven't been helped. And
that's great to hear.
I've had, I high praise on that. But I also have noticed that you don't have just a trainer there. I've now been through multiple trainers who are all very good. And again, they all seem to be golfers, so they get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great feedback. I couldn't be happier. That was a very important thing throughout all the programming was, what's the through line to golf? What's the through line to golf? And I agree. And why I love doing the workouts is because when I do them, when I go to the golf course, it's those particular exercises that increase my confidence as I'm getting a little bit tired on the golf course, or I have to hit a particularly difficult shot, or, I've got a chip shot and all of a sudden I feel like, oh, my core is really engaged in a way that it wouldn't have been had I not been working on it, right? Because I think a lot of our inconsistencies can really be traced back to our lack of stability. And our lack of stability comes from just a lack of strength. And so, golf is the sport where you have to do the same thing over and over again. And there's fatigue that sets in. And if you're walking, it's going to be even more. We look forward to helping people and guiding them on, their nutrition and their hydration and the other facets that go into, really being prepared for a golf a golf day. In my case, I've got a 2-week program that I built for myself out of Golf Fit, which is preparing me for a tournament in coming up in a week from now, where I've said, okay, let's talk about my nutrition, let's talk about my fitness. I made a mistake the day before yesterday. I did a workout that was too hard, and I felt it on the golf course yesterday, and I was like, note to self, you can't ignore what you've learned about what a day before a round should look like, what a morning should look like. So I think there's all different ways in which we can explore how we're going to be able to help golfers play better golf.
What do you mean you had a workout that was too hard? Wait a minute.
I did
Are there different levels?
I did a level 3. Yeah, so we
Okay.
have levels 1, 2, and 3. And I decided I wanted to do a rotational power workout. Now, the golf game came up after I had set my calendar for the week. And so I did the rotational power. If I had to do it over again, I would have substituted that out for a level 2 full body mobility workout, or even 2 level 1 workouts, maybe on my hips and on my back. And then maybe yesterday morning, I would have just done the pre-round mobility workouts that we do, which are just, 5 to 7 minutes, before I play. So I think it's just being smarter and learning what my body needs and what it responds to, and to not being regimented in what success looks like. Like being able to back off of that level 3 workout and not feel badly about it is such a huge part of the psychology of succeeding at fitness. You need to adapt. You need to be able to say to yourself, what is my body telling me right now? And that could even be mid-workout. Like you could be doing
Wow.
the workout and suddenly you get to something that there's 2 things I really try to stress with people is that, this is all suggestive, right? If it doesn't feel right for your body, stop. The single most important thing that people can do to control getting injured is to not do something that hurts them. Again, that whole no pain, no gain thing set more people on the wrong course than I could ever imagine. But you need to listen to your body, and you need to be willing to adapt. This is a lifelong relationship you've got with your body, and it will be very good to you if you treat it with respect. At least that's what I'm finding in my life. Like it'll hang in there. It'll stay younger. It'll stay more, it'll stay stronger. But if I go out and do something that I know is gonna, do something to my back, it's gonna let me know. And as I get older, it's gonna let me know even more. And the recovery time can sometimes, be longer. So see a lot of guys talk about injuries. I think injuries oftentimes can be brought back to something in the body, like my wrist or, back injuries. We start to compensate for our physical limitations in our swing. We start doing it
Absolutely.
enough times, and before we know it, we have an injury to our hip because we've made some sort of adjustment that that is not dealing with the root cause, the root issue. So we're about getting to the root issue, which is, hip, back, shoulder, mobility, strength of core. So many back problems are from lack of core strength. Let's address the real issue, which is that your back is not properly supported in your golf swing, which is it's a dynamic move. People underestimate how much golf requires a synchronicity of strength and agility and balance and speed, and all these things go into a golf swing. And then we think our body doesn't need to get properly trained to do that. in order to do it well X number of times. And I think what we've built here is a way for people to take advantage of that, that fact that it really makes a difference.
Interesting. How did you find all these trainers that were knowledgeable about golf fitness? And
Yeah.
then did you shoot this all in the Southern California area, or did you travel around to find them?
Yeah, no, they were all either based in California or came in. Our top trainer is a gentleman by the name of Sheldon Roberts, who's one of the top 50 Golf Digest fitness trainers. He did all of our programming. He does most of the videos. I'm sure you've done uh, some of his. He was a guy that I went. Let me tell you, it was one of the more challenging things to do was to find trainers to do this, because we ask a lot of them. We ask them to be golf knowledgeable. We ask them to be, great trainers. We ask them to be charismatic on camera. We ask them to be, you know, interesting and engaging and motivating. So it's a tall bar that you've got to find. And when
Yeah,
I
and
tell
let me
you, we
just
went.
insert here. Let me insert here. You get an A for getting all those on the checklist and
Thank you.
succeeding with them.
Thank you. We worked really hard. I've seen other programs out there where, yeah, the
Yeah.
knowledge is there, but you don't really want to hang out with this person for a half an hour and do workouts. And we also, much to our trainers, displeasure, we also insisted that they do the whole workout, in real time while they're training. They don't just get to sit there and tell people what to do. So you kind of feel like you're working out with Sheldon Roberts or Jenny or Brett, all of whom bring their own unique set of experiences to Golf Fit, and hopefully that comes through. And it's attempt to make sure that everybody finds their person or persons that they relate to, that they relate to their training style, their rhythm, and all those types of factors that we look for when we engage with anybody.
Do you recommend that these workouts be done in the morning, midday, afternoon, first thing when you wake up, or just before you go to bed? What's the
Yeah,
best time? Does it make any
there's a
difference?
there's an old adage in fitness that says, the best workout to do is the one you will do. And so I don't really care. If you want to wake up at 2 a.m. and do your workout, that's fine. Doesn't make any difference to me. As long as you just, you figure out how to get through. And this is where I think we're going to really be able to help people. Is I've coined this phrase called winning the moment, right? And winning the moment is the moment we all have during the day when we have a workout schedule and we start the negotiation process. All right. I've got this to do. I've got dinner plans. I've got, I don't feel good. I feel tired, all these things. So there comes this moment on our day, and anybody who tells me they don't face this moment, I think is a very rare class of fitness people, where you start to negotiate your way out of the workout because it's hard. It's going to be strenuous. And so what we're trying to get people to realize is that there's a decisive moment that happens when you make the decision to do what's good for you rather than what might just feel better in the moment. So while we're building this, we're thinking about how do we support you in that moment? How do we get you to take the action that will start to build the habit, so the benefits that you're feeling, which need to be immediate, you can't build a lot of fitness programs are built on you're going to lose weight in 6 months from now. Science tells us that that's not enough immediate gratification for people to continue the workout. They will lose their motivation. What people will do is, if at the end of that workout they reassess how they're feeling and they say, wow, I actually feel pretty good. Like my body feels good. I'm standing up a little bit taller. Maybe I don't feel like eating as much tonight, or maybe, my wife wants to go for a walk, I feel like I'm energized. I've got some blood flowing. So, um, to your question of when to do them, it's whatever is most likely going to be the time where you're going to win that moment. And if that's first thing in the morning, wake up and do it first thing in the morning. If that's not practical for you, find that. The other thing we do is we encourage people to think about these fitness events, these workouts as similar to what they do to all their other events on their calendar, and to put them on their calendar. For example,
Oh, smart.
when you and I had this meeting, you and I both put it on a calendar, and there was really nothing that was going to stand in our way of making that appointment for all the reasons that pride, how we live our lives, what's meaningful to us, being on time and so forth. We find that if people put their workouts on a calendar, they identify them as non-negotiable events, right? Like this one was non-negotiable. They are more likely to do them. And if we can get people treating their workouts like that, it also takes the decision fatigue out of it, right? When am I going to work out? Am I going to work out at 4? Am I going to work out at 5? And suddenly a day's gone by and I didn't work out at all. Why? Because it wasn't on my calendar. And a lot of us live by our calendar. So there are these sort of, levers that we have identified that we can help people pull that will increase their likelihood of success.
Interesting. And are the workouts varying in length, or are they a specific, you've like, our goal is to make each one 10, 20 minutes, whatever?
There's 10-minute workouts, there's the 5-minute pre-rounds, then there's 10 to 15-minute mobility. Sometimes we'll ask you to do 2 of those or just do 1 of those in a day. Then the full body strengths tend to go between 20 minutes and 40 minutes. I don't think we have anything that's really longer than 40 minutes, but they're great 40-minute workouts. I love to exert my body like that. What I'll tell you though is I don't want to do that every day, and I don't need to do it every day. I think that's the other thing I wish people would realize is that, anything you do in the course of the day to move your body is better than doing nothing at all.
Right.
Right. It's really just that simple of an equation. The more you can do, sometimes the better you'll feel, but just doing something is what's vital.
And what you said something in there that I think is a great hook to get people really interested and started. You talked about pre-round workouts.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, so we get to the golf course and we all tend to just sort of go up to the driving range, grab a bucket of balls and start doing the same action that we are going to do for the rest of the day without doing anything to activate those muscles in a way that would really prepare them for going. It's like, if an NBA player just he did nothing but just start shooting, right? He didn't warm up his body. He didn't jog at all. He didn't,
dude,
kind of make
wait, dude. Those guys are in their 20s. You and I are in our 60s.
All the more reason. Yeah.
They can wake up and just go right onto the court and play in the 20s. And it's like, oh, he's tired. Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, all the more reason when I go to the golf course, if I have 10 minutes, I'm going to spend 5 minutes on getting my body moving. And because the muscle memory for the golf swing is there. Hitting 20 more balls is not going to make any difference. I always want to hit balls, but it's an entirely different experience after I've done 5 minutes of, I carry this band in my bag. I have my phone. I just put it, up on one of those little tripod things. I take the band out. I can do it for 5 minutes. All the other guys on the range look at me as like, oh, I should be doing that. I know I should be doing that, but instead I'm just going to keep pounding balls and feeling a little stiff and then wonder why I don't play as well as I think I should, right? Because everybody thinks they should be better. And I think we're really giving people a real pathway to get better.
So how does the Golf Smarter community get started with Golf Fit?
Ah, boy, I tell you, I think, if I was if I was out there looking for, a way to improve my game, and I was watching the videos on YouTube, and I was, doing all this kind of stuff, I would say that if you went to our website and you just did a week-long trial of our workouts, no cost, feel how your body feels different, right? Do an assessment at the beginning. How do I feel? How do I feel at the end of this week? If you don't feel better, then I'd say keep looking. I don't know. You will feel better. Your body will open up. Your muscles will start expanding. Your blood will start moving in a way that it doesn't. And when you step to that first tee or go to the driving range, you will notice a difference. So just take the first indicated step, which is just do one workout. I've had guys that are like, that's the other thing. There are guys that are really fit. I meet a lot of golfers that are really fit, but they're not golf fit. They're strong. They can lift a lot of weight. They can run really far. But when you actually ask them to do a shoulder turn, they're highly restricted, right? So to experience what real golf fitness can do to how you feel when you get to a golf course is really what will keep you doing this program, for as long as you choose to. And so I would say just try a workout, try a 5-minute mobility workout, try something that feels very doable for you. Don't overexert yourself. You don't have to. Like I said earlier, if you do a 5-minute workout for 2 weeks, you will feel completely different if you're coming at it from not having worked out at all. The 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 bar is so much lower for success than people are accustomed to believe it is. We have these Instagram programs like 60 days, you're going to look like this, and you're going to be, you're going to be this and that, and that's just setting people up for failure. That's not the way a professional athlete would approach their fitness. It's not, if they were injured and they were coming back, they're not starting to kill themselves. They're starting to get themselves to move up incrementally through the process of getting fit by the start of the season or by the time that they're ready to get started. And I just think we have this phrase where we want people to adapt an athlete's mindset in their fitness. Like athletes train smart. They just don't train hard. And we think we have a smart system.
Oh, well, perfect for Golf Smarter. So after the free week and testing it out, and you're hooked, what happens next? What are the fees, structure, and how does?
Yeah.
Tell me the
So you
details.
can sign up for, get the weekly, you get everything for both structures. So the weekly personalization, the motivation, the emails, the texts, whatever we can do to help support you for, if you want to do it on a monthly basis, it's $24.95. And if you want to do it for a year, it's $200. So we just want you to get started and feel the benefits. So once you start to feel the benefits, it'll be something that, then you can determine what program makes the most sense for you.
Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot here, and I'm sorry if this is uncomfortable, but I'm going to ask straightforward here. I would love to get a lot of this Golf Smarter community involved and to check it out for themselves. And please do the free week. But if they're ready to pay up, is there an incentive that you can provide to the Golf Smarter community on the paid subscription that might work for you and get them to go to golffit.com?
Absolutely. If you go through the first week and you want to sign up for a monthly, we will offer you 50% off your first month. So it'll bring it down to, what is it, $12.50, something like that. And then if you then decide you want to increase it to an annual subscription, we will offer you 25% off your annual subscription.
Wow. That's very generous. Well, that should be enough incentive right there. Richard, this has been awesome. Good luck with this. And my sense is that the flooring business is taking care of itself, that you were able to keep going here and you didn't get rid of that company. So thank you again for coming on and sharing this information with us. I'm hooked. I'm in. So I'm really enjoying it. And I think that a lot of people are going to benefit from this when they, again, we talk about this a lot. Most important tool in your bag is your body.
Agreed. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.